Now going to Stefan, he was born in Romania, so the Romanians are very proud to get this Nobel Prize. Stefan was very focused from the very beginning to take a challenge, to break rules, and so during his studies he came up with the idea to make the invisible visible, which means he wanted to do better in microscopy than Ernst Abbe stated 100 years before. And so he took a textbook and came across with stimulated emission. And he used this theoretical principle, and it took him, go back please, a couple of years between theory and the first experiment. And Stefan really adjusted a very complicated brute force setup for stat microscopy, applying a 1 watt laser power really to break the diffraction limit and going much below 100 nanometers. After doing this, he had to convince the community. And he went to many, many presentations. We had the pleasure to have him many times in Berlin at the single molecule workshop. We had the pleasure here at SPIE in Periasiami's session, in my session. He gave keynote talks, plenary talks. And Stefan is a great speaker. It's really a pity that he cannot make it. He will explain in a second why. It's not only stat what Stefan did. He did much more. At the beginning, he focused on the optics. His understanding was, I have to make the lens better. After a while, he recognized it's not the lens. It's all about the states of the molecules. You have to switch them between on and off, fluorescent, non-fluorescent, and many other states, which really is the trick to break the diffraction barrier. And of course, nobody can do such a huge amount of work himself. Stefan is heading a big group in Göttingen at the Max Planck Institute, together with Stefan Jacobs. He took this nice picture immediately after the award was announced. And he has even a second group in Heidelberg at the German Research Center, which is like a think tank where you get a lot of inspiration. And yeah, there's not much time for him to do more than science. If he has some time, Stefan likes music. He played the saxophone, but he's even more interested in dancing. So the slide's going faster than I like. And therefore he enjoyed this official dancing after the formal banquet. And in US, you are used to have many Nobel laureates. In German, it was breaking news. This is our primer channel, and this was breaking news in October when Stefan was awarded the prize. Well, we tried to invite him in spring to give, again, a keynote lecture. And already at that time, he told me, sorry, I cannot come this year. I've committed to another meeting. And so we will hear him only by video. But nevertheless, we want to present him virtually a small present. SPIE has this very nice tie. And they prepared also a very nice plaque for all the laureates. And we thought, with award honors Nobel laureate and biophotonics pioneer, Dr. Stefan W for his development of stimulated emission depletion, stat microscopy, groundbreaking work that has brought optical microscopy into the nano dimension, which the ability to visualize the pathways of individual molecules inside living cells to get the great benefit of mankind. Well, let's listen to Stefan's lecture.
Hello everyone, hello Eric, hello W.E. I would have loved to join you today at the special Nobel session. However, I was asked to give a lecture at another conference much earlier, and I preferred not to disappoint the people at the other meeting who had invited me. Therefore, Perry, Rainer, and Bruce kindly asked me to deliver a short note by video. After enthusiastically accepting this offer, I was scratching my head, thinking what I could possibly convey in this little speech. Considering the spirit of the session, namely the celebration of the Nobel Prize in Chemistry, I feel that most of what I wish to say has been said actually in a little speech that I delivered at a Nobel banquet. So I've prepared an edited version of the Nobel banquet speech, and I hope you'll enjoy it.
Your Majesties, Your Royal Highnesses, ladies and gentlemen, what a week, what a day, and what a night. I cannot imagine anything more exhilarating than to stand here this evening, also on behalf of my colleagues W.E. Moerner and Eric Betzig, thanking the Swedish Academy and the Nobel Foundation for the honor that has been bestowed upon us. We are so grateful to all who have supported us on our path, and above all, we feel very, very humbled. Like all laureates, each of us three has his own road to this magnificent hall. Our personal stories have been quite different. Yet, we have much in common: passion for what we do and fascination with things that cannot be done, or, let's say, things that cannot be done supposedly. Erwin Schrödinger, who spoke at his banquet 81 years ago tonight, wrote, "It is fair to state that we are not going to experiment with single particles any more than we will raise dinosaurs in the zoo." Well, one of us, W.E., discovered just the opposite. Single molecules can indeed be seen and played with individually. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what do we learn from this? First, Erwin Schrödinger would never have gone on to write Jurassic Park. Second, as a Nobel laureate, you should say, this or that is never going to happen, because you will increase your chances tremendously of being remembered decades later in a Nobel banquet speech. And so, on to super-resolution fluorescence imaging. According to the belief, molecules closer together than 200 nanometers could not be told apart with focused light. This is because in a packed molecular crowd, the molecules shout out their fluorescence simultaneously, causing their voices to be confused. But believe it or not, Eric found a way to discern the molecules by calling on each one of them individually using a microscope so simple that he built it with a friend in his living room. As for myself, I never had that kind of patience, calling on each molecule one by one. No way. I just told all of them to be quiet, except for a selected few. Just keep the molecules quiet and let only a few speak up. A simple solution to a supposedly unsolvable problem. It made the resolution limit history. Now have a guess, where did this idea occur to me? Not very far from here, actually, in a student dorm in Finnish, Åbo, in what you may kindly call a living room. So, what does it take, ladies and gentlemen, to end up standing here telling you a story of important discoveries or improvements? Well, you definitely need a living room. At the very least, you need a place to sleep. And when you fall asleep, you may forget that others consider you too daring or too foolish. But when morning comes, you would better find yourself saying, I have so many choices of what to do or what to leave every morning, every day. I better judge for myself and go ahead and do it. Because nothing is more powerful than an idea whose time has come, even if it came in a living room or to someone with a humble living. And if you feel we'll never raise dinosaurs, who knows? One day, someone may be actually standing here giving a banquet speech. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us embrace a culture that addresses problems deemed impossible to solve, and let us now honor those who will do so with a toast. Skål.
When we boil it down and look what really enabled the revolution in fluorescence microscopy resolution, it certainly wasn't the optics. It wasn't a particular way of focusing the light. It was the insight that features that are closer together than the diffraction barrier can be distinguished by turning them on and off, explicitly for the purpose of feature separation. So whereas in the diffraction-limited fluorescence microscope, features are separated by focusing the light in use, which is inherently limited by diffraction, in super-resolution fluorescence microscopy, features are discerned by making them assume different, usually on and off, molecular states. So when you leave this meeting and prefer to take just a single message about super-resolution with you, take that one. It is the molecules, actually the molecular states, that do the resolution work. With greetings from Göttingen, I hope to see you next year.